Okay, so let me share my agenda today. So I'll be covering if else, switch case, nested for loop, break statement, while and do while loop today. Okay, so these topics will be covered today, right? So I'll be starting from if else statement, and I will need more attention from you guys today, right? So whenever you have any query related to it, just ask me. Okay, so I'll be moving to next slide. Let me first delete. Okay, so I'll be starting from if else part, but before we need to understand some operators. There are some operators to explain. Those are most important operators as purpose of the if else part, right? So there is not operator, equals to operator, and operator, or operator. Suppose we define a variable int a is equal to 5, integer a is equal to 5, integer b is equal to 6, right? Now if we want to compare these values, what we have to do, we just need to use the operators for. Suppose if a is equal to b, right? This is the condition, and this one is the syntax of if block, right? Here we will have some condition. If this condition will true, then only it will be coming inside this if block, right? If the condition will not true, it will not coming inside this if block, right? And after this if, there will be else part. If this if block doesn't satisfy, the condition does not meet, then this block is not going to execute, then else part will be executing, right? So this is the syntax of the if and else block, right? So if a is equal to b, then this code is going to execute, else this part will be executing, right? So suppose a is equal to b, what the a current value of a is 5, current value of b is 6. So is that condition true? Anyone, if anybody can answer, is that condition is true? No. So this code is not going to execute, then else block will be going to execute, right? Suppose, please guys, whosoever is not speaking, please mute yourself. If int a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6, c is equal to 7, d is equal to 10. Now a and b, sorry, if I'll be covering this in Eclipse also, but first need to understand this concept. If a is equal to b and c is equal to d, what this and means, this condition should true and this should also be true, then only it will be coming inside this if block, right? Then it will be coming only inside this block. If both condition does not satisfy, then it will not come inside. But what if I use or here, or operator? So it means a or b, right? So either this condition should true or this condition should true, or both can be true, then it will come inside, right? So this is the if else part. Now I'll be taking some example to explain. I'll be moving to Eclipse IDE and I'll be asking you guys what will be the output. I'll be making a project. Inside a project I'll make a package. Inside a package I'll make a class. Guys, don't take it too easy. You are going at least learn something new today, right? If I'll declare variable here, int a is equal to 5, right? Int b is equal to 6, int c is equal to 10, d is equal to 10. If a equal to b, then sys out and control space is the shortcut. If you want to note, please note that. Then this is going to print suppose if block, right? Else sys out control space else block. Now tell me what will be the output. If someone is there who can answer, like Bhabya, can you reply what will be the answer? Okay, yeah, a is not equal to b, that's why it will print else block, right? Okay, suppose I make it 5, right? And I use, suppose I make it 6, let it be 6. If c is equal to d and a is equal to b. Now Bhabya, what will be the output? Now what will, okay, and means that both condition should true, right? Now tell me what will be the output. I'll ask will, who is this? Now this time else block, right? So I I'll ask with the, I'll check with the Silas. What will be the output? If guys don't mind if I'll taking some people name, just because I want to check how much you are getting and how much you need to explain. Okay, why? Yeah, if OR operator is there, OR operator means at least one should true condition, sorry, should true, right? Please note these points, right? So OR operator means at least one condition should true, because C is equal to D, C is 10 and D is 10. So one condition if meets, then it will come to a if block, right? So answer will be if block. Now I want to ask, if I can use, sorry, don't use this. After this I will use not equal to operator first. Now I will ask with anyone who can reply what will the output. These are the some use cases of the if block. Please explain what will the output. Why? So it means that you guys got an idea. Okay, so now I'll explore it more. Suppose if a is equal to 5, if inside if, now what will be the output? What will the, now give him that link, email that link, please give him that link. First it will come C is equal to D, right? So one condition is true, so we don't need to check second condition, just because if one is true then it will come inside, right? So it will print if block, right? Once it will print if block, the next line of code checks that A is equal to 5, right? So A is equal to 5, right? A is actually value of A is 5, that's why if inside if, right? So this if also be printed. Now I want to check what will the output now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, but this was the, if this was the part of this if, right? So this else is part of this if not this if, right? So this if is not related to this else block, right? This is the inner if, right? So if this condition is not fine, that doesn't mean that this else block will execute. If we have else block here, then that was going to print, but this we don't have else block over here, right? So immediate else block of the this if will be not executed for inner if condition, right? So this is something different and this one is something different, right? So there should be an immediate else block for if condition, right? So for this if condition we don't have any immediate else block, right? So that doesn't mean that if this is going to false, then this will execute. If this if block will be false, then only this else block will be responsible for doing its assignments, right? So this was something about the if else block. I hope that you guys got an idea about the if block. So if anybody have any query related to this if else part, then please ask me. That's why guys I normally say please join on time. People join later. So who is this? Please join. If you guys, if you will be joining directly by using that link of email ID, you will be surely joined, right? But if you will be joining by link provided by someone, then I have to admit that, right? So use that link of email ID, directly jump to the okay. So now next part is who is this trying to join? uh, Ask him to join again, because I am not seeing any pop-up, right? Next time please join before class start time, but I'll wait for 1 minute for Nakul. What is this? Okay, I'll be resuming. Okay. So what is the problem with this if else part? Can anybody explain what is the actual problem over here? Suppose if we have 100 conditions to check, right? So we will have 100 if else blocks, right? So every time the condition will be checked, right? Every time when the condition will be checked, then execution process of the code will be slowed down, right? So our code execution will not too much in pace, right? So suppose we install any app inside our mobile app, the app performance is slow, then the user experience is not good, so that's why rating goes down and we don't use that app for anyhow. So that's why I normally say that if we have multiple if else block, multiple condition to check, so it's better to use switch case. So what is the profit of using that switch case, that I'll explain, but why we ignore the if else. If we have multiple conditions like 50 conditions, then we will be using 50 else if else block, then this will be slowing down our execution. Guys, one request to you, if anybody is not have to say something, then please mute yourself, so that our video recording voice should be clear, right? So I am going to use, I hope you guys got an idea. So what the problem with the switch block if else condition, and what the benefits of the using switch case, I'll be explaining that first, but I hope you guys noted down that what is the meaning, why we ignore sometimes if else block, and why we move to the switch case, right? So what is the switch case? Suppose we have 100 conditions, right? If we will have 100 conditions, then 100 if else block. Every time condition will be checked, right? Every time condition will be checked, so every execution will slow. So suppose we have 100 condition and we want that or every condition should be directly jumped. Suppose we have condition A for example, and I want this, if we have this condition, then if I can directly jump to this condition, we don't need to check that 99 remaining conditions. So what this could happen with only using switch block. So suppose, what is the syntax of switch block? Switch small s, here number or string, but string part, this is newly addressed to the Java. I will be explaining this string part later on, but I will be using number, right? So suppose I declare int n is equal to 7, right, or n is equal to 4, and switch day, and what switch n, and what n is a number, right? Here I will have, this is generic example you will find everywhere, but this example explain all of the condition related to switch and switch case, right? So you have to listen carefully every rule and regulations of this switch condition. Suppose integer we have, and I will be going to next slide, right, so better understand. Suppose I declare a variable int day is equal to 4, right, and here I will have switch. Please listen carefully so that no any question remaining after this, right? Switch day. Guys, please help who wants to join. Let me complete his query first. Can anybody help to him to join? Guys, give me a minute, I will be sharing. That's why I am asking everybody to join on time. I will be admitting him first. Sorry for this inconvenience, but I have to allow him first. Who is this trying to join? Anybody knows the name? Nakul. Ask Nakul, please try again so that we can resume our sessions. That's why I said that please Nakul Papreja join. Okay. Thank you, Nakul. That's why I said to everybody, please join on time so that we can start our session. So Nakul, whatever the topic left, I have completed if else part. So you can watch the video. The video is getting recorded, and you can refer this record. I am switching to switch case, right? So I am explaining switch case now. Suppose we have multiple switch. Yeah. Okay, okay. Uh, okay, maybe you left just because of something network problem, but now you can resume, right? So please join on time so that it will be helpful to everyone. Okay, so I was explaining switch case. right? So Nakul, I have explained just if else part. Suppose if you have multiple conditions, right, 100 conditions to check, then it will be slowing down our execution. That's why we use switch case, right? So I am explaining this switch case first, so just listen carefully from here. So here we will have an integer. We can do it with string as well, but that is newly addressed to Java. I will explain it later on when I will be completing the string concept, right? But before that I will be explaining it, so that switch concept will be clear. I will be explaining it with integer part. Int day is equal to 2, right? So this is the generic example you find everywhere, but this example explain all of the rules and regulations of the switch cases. That's why I am using this. Switch day. Guys, listen carefully. Multiple rules and regulations are there. Here we will have cases. Case 1, right? If there is a case 1, something needed to print. Here we can use break or we do not use break as per our requirement, right? Case 2, sys out. Here we can use the break, right? Case 3, sys out means system.out.println, and here case is, right? And there is later after that there is a default case. What happens? Suppose what happens actually, if I have provided day is equal to integer, day is equal to 2, right? Day is equal to 2. If here it will show day 2, right? The value will be 2. It will directly jump into the case 2. That's the advantage with switch case, right? So it will directly jump into the 2. So it will print whatever the code written after it, it will execute that code and it will be moving to next one, right? It will execute case 3 and then it will execute case whatever the cases after that, and after that it will be going to default condition. But if you want that if the case was fine, then I don't need to execute further line of codes, then we can use break over here. Wherever it will find the break, the code execution will stop from there, right? And it will come up the switch case, right? So I hope I am clear, right? Suppose here I use break and I give a condition. Here I don't give 2, I directly give 3. So it will directly come to the case 3, but after case 3 there is no break. Suppose sys out is here, then it will print case 3 line of code, whatever the line of code written over here, and if there was no break it will coming to default. Suppose I give case 8, there is no case such as case 8, right? There is no case 8. So if there is no such case, then it is surely going to execute default case. If there is no matching case and there is a default case, then it will surely execute this default case, right? One more thing, suppose I have case 3 over here, right? Suppose I have case 3 over here, it will directly jump to the case 3 and after case 3 I put a break, right? So it will not execute this default case, right? Once it will find break, it will come out of this switch case of this block, right? So these are the rules and regulations, rules of the switch cases. Now I'll be jumping to our Eclipse IDE. If I'll check this, this will give me a main method. I will not check this, this will not give me a main method. I have not checked, that's why not give. If I forget to do this, just type main and control space. This will create a main method for you, right? Here I will use int day is equal to 4. Suppose day value is 4, day 4 switch. here I have to provide the value of integer that I have declared. Now I'll have cases. Some people consider first day as Monday. Case 2, sys out Tuesday, right? I will copy case value can't be same. Okay. Now I'll ask with I will check with let me take some random name. Now I'll check with Nakul what will be the output of this switch case. Yeah. No, no, I am not giving any console input. I have just declared the input, right? So it will print Thursday. Okay. And now I will check with the Moinul what will be the output. Okay. Okay, now I'll check with Bhavya what will the output. Bhavya, why Tuesday? Default here India, right? So once it will have case, it will directly jump to that case, right? This is the advantage of that switch case, right? If it will start executing from here, then why not use if block, right? So that's why once if has such case, then it will first directly jump to that case. Just because it doesn't find any break over here, that's why it executed default, right? I hope you guys got it. Now again I will check with Bhavya. I'll use a break over here and I will remove this and I'll make this case 1. Now I'll check what will the output Bhavya. No. Who is this? Sales, right? Yeah, it's correct. Bhavya, understand one more time, right? It first it will check the condition. The condition was 1. The day value was 1. Switch 1. It will directly jump to 1, right? It will directly jump to 1. Once it directly jumped into 1, it find that system.out.println and it printed Monday. It will print Monday, right? But there was no break. That's why it came inside this case 2, right? So once again it printed Tuesday. And similarly, as you think for the case 1 there was no break, there was no break for case 2 also. That's why it will come to this case 3, and when it will come to case 3 it will find this Wednesday and it will print this Wednesday, and after that there is a break, right? Then it will break from here. If there was no break, then it was going for this case 4 and this was printing for this. Suppose if whenever it will find break, it will come out of that switch case, right? Whenever it will find the break, so it will not going to run default just because it find the break, right? Suppose if we have no such case, then it will print only default. So this time India should be printed, right? Because there was no such case, right? That's why India got printed. So these are the rules. Now again I will check with Bhavya if you have understanding this time what will be the output. Now this time what will be the output? I commented out this like this, right? Why not default? Because there was no break after the case 4, that's why it will go for default. Default has two rules. If there is no such condition matching, that default will surely run, right? But if there is no break, then default, no one can stop default to print until there is no break, right? Default is the part of our code. If there is no break, then default is surely going to print. But if there is no such condition, then again default is going to print. These are the only two rules of the default, right? So I hope you guys got the understanding of the switch cases. If anybody has any doubt, please note down these rules, and please read out the articles present over these multiple websites, rules and regulation. Note those. But I have explained each and everything. Nothing is extra in this switch case, right? So again, who is this?
In this case, it will directly go to India.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Because there is no such case, so it will directly jump to the this default, right? It will print India. Okay. So if there is no matching case, it will surely going to print default, right? But if there is a matching case, this is going to print that matching case first, and then it will find out the break. If there is no break, it will be keep executing till next cases, right? If next cases also don't have the break, then it will be keep executing for further cases and going for default, right?
And one more thing, that it can be string also, not only string.
Yeah, we can use in string, but before the beginning I have said that I will covering up the string part later on, right? Because just I have not covered the string first. So that let me cover those first, array and string concept, then we will be using those things. We can use character as well, don't not only strings. Okay, so I hope you guys got an idea about the switch cases. Baba, do you have any query related to it? Everybody got an idea? Yeah, who else? Yeah, yeah. Case name must be equals to variable we are passing. Yeah. Yes, of course. If we'll have here, then if we'll use other cases, then there will be no matching values, right? So it will be going to print default in that case. I had explanation over here. That's why for the concept explanation I have used this such case, right? You can try with other right? Like float in and the double, but there is no matching case in that case, right? That's why I have used that.
kind of each stage, if you are finding anything type of condition, say for example, if
Like which? Can you explore it?
if I will to switch bracket a equal to b, if I use some two variable a and b, if I will to switch case a equal to b, then
Okay.
in what manner the case may be.
A will be the part if you have declared. We can use, but let me complete for the string part, then I will be covering in more depth, right? But first my agenda is just understand the basic concept of it. We can actually use the array, string and lot of those things, but our agenda is not that. Just first understand the basic concept. Everybody is facing basic problems right now. That's why I have explained with very beginning, right? First understand the concept in depth. Just after, you can match any value, you can use string, array, whatever you want, whatever we, but normally we don't need to do that. Whatever the first concept is, that we should have any basic understanding for that, right? Once we will clear with that, we will be using those concepts, right? So don't worry about those things. First just understand the basics, because many people are facing basics problem, as to just let them come to that level first. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Should we? Yeah, if you can parallelly code with me, just code. I will paste this code to this chat box. Let the Jakir, let our agenda should be complete first, then we will be coming to your systems, right? So if you are facing some errors, we will be resolving those errors on those platforms. First just understand the concept. If I'll be before this between the session, it will be not completing our agenda for today, right? So yeah, I have pasted the code. Just copy and paste this code. If you have any query related to this concept, then you can ask. If I'll move into your system, this will oh. So if it's working, then fine, then doesn't matter. Now, or uh, what is the next? For loop. Okay, I am coming to this for loop. Who is this? Nested if else if. Yeah, we can like the way concept are there, so you can explore those things, right? Suppose if we have, if how many if else we can have, as many we want, right? So if we can have multiple if else inside if else, suppose we have else condition, in that else part we can have if else, as per we need. Just we should understand some basics first, so we have got an idea, right? So this much is enough for today, right? So if you will be explaining a lot of that, then it will be quite confusing. First practice with these basics. I'll be giving assignments, just first complete those, then I'll be moving to that level, right? In the very beginning we lightly jumped into nested, then already I have used that one, at least one nested if else, right? Let me show for, suppose Silas, for your answer, we have this if, right? So inside this if there is a if, so this is a nested if, right? This is a else part, we can use if else inside this also, right? As much the need, as per the requirement, we can do that, right? But if we got understand this if else, then that's sufficient for us, because we got an idea how this works, so we can explore it by your own, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. So if you want to go with else if you can go with that, right? After that there will be a condition, right? Suppose what will the condition want to put for your query? Suppose else if c is equal to 9, right? So we can use in that way, and after that there will be no compulsion, but there we can use any else part, right? So we can use if else, else if, and if else if as per we our need, right? So if you got an idea about this if got an idea about this else, if we got an idea about this nested if, then we can surely make this one, right? So we will be jumping to those, but first wait for just understand the basics. Then if I will giving assignments and will be facing problem, you will surely finding your answers by your own. But
Hello, Ronald, your voice is breaking.
for everyone, okay, there may be a network issue in your side. Okay guys, just focus that we are going with basics first, right? And many people are facing basics problems. So till from the day one, if I will be explaining each and everything, this will be a mess to them, right? And just look forward from basics to advanced, right? And this nested if else, or the switch case, or there may be condition inside switch case, string part, array part inside switch case, this will be quite confusing for us, that just because this is a very beginning, right? So that's why just remember first basic concept, and then we'll be moving to those. Okay, so I'll be moving to for loop, right? Let me complete that for loop first, otherwise agenda will not complete for today. There is a for loop concept. Suppose we have variables int a is equal to 1, b sorry I is equal to 1, I1 is equal to 2, I3 is equal to 3, I4 is equal to 4. Then we have to use system.out.println for printing this I 4 times, right? So there will be multiple same line of multiple. Suppose we have to write this same code 4 times. For printing this I variables, we have to use this same code 4 times. So this will be consuming our time, and there will be a code reducibility possible. Then we can do that. And how can we run this code 4 times, writing this line of code only once? We can use the loop. Suppose we have to print number from 1 to 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Then should we write system.out.println 1, system.out.println 2, system. No, so we can go for loops concept first. So how we can move to that? Int declare this I variable, or you can declare inside the for loop as well. Int I is equal to 1, I less than is equal to, suppose we have to print till 5, otherwise with 10 time explanation. 5 I plus plus, then I will be moving to system dot out dot print ln, and here we have to print I, right? So this line of code will be executed 5 times. How this for loop works, now pay attention. The initial value of I is 1. First it will directly come to here. I will be initialized by 1. After initializing this, it will be matching the condition, right? It will match the condition. 1 is less than is equal to 5, condition is true, that's why it will come inside this block, and here it will find I, right? So it will print 1 because I value was 1. Second time it will go here, increment part. First it will start from the initialization and matching the condition. Initialization part was done only once, so it first initialized by 1, it matched the condition 1 is less than equal to fine, condition matched fine, that's why it came inside this block and it went to this I plus plus, right? Then it printed, then it went to I plus plus, and I plus plus means I plus plus means I is equal to I plus 1, and this is the shortcut of this line. We can write in this way as well, but we for the shortcut we use this I plus plus, right? So it went to I plus plus, value incremented by 1, right? So value got incremented by 1, so 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It now after incrementing value it will match with this one, it matched that 2 is less than equal to 5, condition was true, it again came inside and it printed 2. After executing this line again it will go back to here, the value will be incremented by 1, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, it will match again 3 is less than is equal to 5, the condition is true, it will print 3. Again it will go here and value is equal to 3 plus 1 is equal to 4, it will match 4 is less than is equal to 5, the condition will true, that's why it will come in here and print 4. Again it will go back to this I plus plus, so value will be this time 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, again condition is true, just because 4 is 5 is equal to 5, right? 5 is equal to 5, it will again come inside the block and it will print 5. Again it will go back to this I plus plus, 5 plus 1 is equal to 6, it will match 6 is less than equal to 5, this time condition will not satisfied and this will come outside of the loop. But remember what was the value when we printed this, suppose we print this out after this loop and I will print I, so this will after this loop the value of I will be 6, just because when value was not satisfied then it was 6 and I value was 6, right? I value was updated to 6, so after the block the value of I will be 6. So this is the way that how for loop works. If anybody has any query related to this concept, please ask it. Otherwise I will be moving to so value was printed 1 to 5. So if anybody has any query, otherwise I will be moving forward adding something new in this, right? So I hope you got understand. One more thing, that what is the break statement over here inside this form. If inside any loop, whether we are using the for loop or we are using while loop or do while loop or for each loop I will explain later, but whenever you are using any loop and if there is a break statement gets finded by the loop, then break statement will be responsible to throw uh, uh, from the current loop. Suppose we are using this for loop, so if there is a break statement, it will directly throw outside of the loop. Suppose first line of code it finds break, so this will throw outside of this loop, right? It will be thrown outside of the loop. Let me this line of code over this break. Why this error is coming, I will ask you guys, but first, after this will be, what will the output after the explanation I have given? Can anybody tell me what will be the output? Like Sales, I want to ask you, what will the output? Please. Okay. Okay. Bhavya. Okay. As soon guys, as soon as it will find the break, it will directly come out of the loop, right? Come out of the current loop. If we are using nested loops, then it will come out of the current loop only, right? But let that part will come later. But first we need to understand what this break's responsibility is. This break will throw out of the code, right? Throw out of the block. So 1 will be printed, and after printing 1, there will be a break and it will throw out of this loop, right? Now again let me comment this line, and again I will check with I will add some code over here, and I will check with now this time I will check with Santosh. If I am using if condition, it's inside for loop. If I is equal to 3, break. What will the output? What will the output? It will break after the 3, that's okay, but what will be the output? I want to ask that what output it will print here in console. Yeah, of course. It will print 3. Guys, just oh, let me give a one line statement, then you guys can reply. As soon as it will find the break, it will come out of the loop. If is not a loop, right? If is not a loop, so you can't say that current loop, right? Current loop is for only. It will come 1, it will print 1, it will print 2, and when the I value will be when I value will be 3, then I is equal to 3, 3 is equal to 3, and when this will find the 3 is equal to 3, it will come inside the if block, and this if block have break statement, it will throw out of the loop. So 1 and 2 will be printed, right? Everybody, why 4 and 5 will be printed? It will be throw out of the loop, right? It will throw out of the loop, and if is not a loop, if it's just a condition which want that if there is a such condition, just throw out of the loop. That's why we have used break over here, right? Why it should print 3 2? Can you explain, so that I can understand where you guys are getting a problem for that? Can you explain, Bhavya? Okay, I got, okay, okay, I got understand where are the misconception are. Let me clear those misconceptions. First, when I was using switch case, right? So that break was for switch case. Yeah, if is one of the block, but if there is a break inside a for loop, right? So if that doesn't matter if that if condition is that there is a break condition inside f, but this is inside this for loop, right? So I have written this line just for whenever this for loop have any break, just come out of that loop, right? So that works for, just like when switch case finded the break, it was coming out of the switch case, not the case, right? It was coming out of the whole switch block, right? Not to that case only, right? Just like over here as well, it is coming out of the for loop, just because this if break is responsible to throw out of the current loop. This is one statement, and another statement is that if there is a break inside any loop, whether the if block, whether the else block, it will throw out of that loop, just like it was throwing out of the switch case, right? I hope you guys understand. Or no. You can clear your misconceptions, just because these you need. After this for statement, no, it's inside this for, right? It's this if is inside this for loop. Whenever it will find break, it will come out of this loop, right? And this if will provide this break, right? Every time we can't give break, otherwise there is no meaning of using break. There will be some condition that if this condition is occurs, then please break out from here, break out from. Suppose we are matching numbers, we have numbers from 1 to 10, and we think that if there is a number 7, then just come out of that loop. We don't need to run loop further, right? Why we check 8 9 and 10 with 7? We don't need to compare. If we find our sufficient conditions, then we need to come out of the don't run the loop extra times, right? This we will get to know when you will make prime number program. You have to print 1 to you have to print prime numbers from 1 to 100, then you will be using this break, right? You don't need to run your loop extra times, right? So let me give an idea of the prime number first, so that you can make it for 1 to 100. Guys, there is a for loop. You will better understand this. Suppose I want to check whether this 7 is prime number or not, right? I will explain for this 7, and you will print prime numbers from 1 to 100, right? And you will be using multiple nested for loops for that. When if you will make this program, your all conceptions will be clear. Otherwise I will be making a separate video for that, uploading to the YouTube, and this will be correcting your concepts, right? So what is the prime number? Suppose 7 and 1. Suppose there is number 7 and I want to check whether this 7 is prime number or not. So what is prime number? If a number is divided by 1 or itself only, then it is a prime number, right? Then it is a prime. Otherwise this number is not prime. If from starting from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if any of this number is divides this 7, that means that this number is not prime. How we can do it? Guys, listen carefully. I know that you can make this program, but how to use this break statement, that you have to know, right? Suppose this 7, right? So what I have to do, first I have to write logic for prime number. If a number is divided by either 1 or 7, if a number is divided by either 1 or itself, right? For 7 is 7, right? So that number is, if a number is divided only by 1 or 7, that this 7 is prime number. Otherwise this is not prime number. If number, suppose n is equal to 7, if n modulus, first I will divide with 2, is equal to 0, then number is not prime, right? Second time I will divide this, n is modulus 3 is equal to 0, then it is not prime. So there will have 7 conditions. So do I have to write this 7 conditions 7 times? No, we will use for loop. So write this for loop. For int I will be starting from 2, because 1 will divide, so ignore this one, right? Suppose the number is 11, I want to check, then we have to remove this 1 and 11, and for the rest of number I have to divide and check, right? So I will be starting I is equal to 10, I am checking for 7 this time, right? I is equal to 2, I is less than 7, right? Because if we make equals to, this will be checking for 7 as well, so our condition will not find. I plus plus. Now here I have to put if condition. If number is equal to, n is equal to 7, number modulus I, number modulus I equal to 0, then break, and before breaking just give some information over here, that this information was found. If the any number divides, then come out of that, because any number divide excepting this 1 and 7, then come out of, don't need to check for further numbers. Suppose there was a number 6, and if 2 has divided, why should we check for 3 and 6 and 4, 3, 4 and 5 and 6? If 2 has divided, that means that is not a prime number. That's why we will use 2. We will not we will use break over here, right? So we'll just come out of there from. And here what information I have to give? We have to define int flag is equal to 0, right? Here I will make flag 1, flag is equal to 1, and I will close this. I will close this if and else for loop, right? And outside of this for loop I will have a condition, if flag 1, when will this flag will be 1? Only if this will come inside this if block, because this flag is equal to 1 written only inside this if block. And when this if block will execute, if any number excepting 1 and 7 will divide this, every time this I value will be incrementing, I will be changing 2 to 6, right? Because loop is running to 2 to 6. So if this flag is equal to 1, that means that number was divided and flag was 1, and this came out of the loop. So here I will print a message, number is not prime. So this will be just for checking number 7. And if we want to check for the 1 to 100, we want to print prime numbers till 1 to 100, then we have to check for 2, 3, 4, 5 till 99. So outer loop will be run from 2 to 99 and inner loop will be responsible for checking each outer loop value and dividing this value by I, right? So I hope you got an idea why you use the if block. Let me complete this program first. So I hope you guys got an idea, right? Everybody got that what actually break statements does? It reduces the multiple number of executions, right? We can use that. Everybody understand? Please comment on chat box. If any doubt, then I will be making a program for it. Please confirm. Celeste, you got this? Babya? Yeah, we will do that, but before that let me ask to everybody, Celeste, that if everybody got an idea, I'll write that code first. This program first and then break statement as well. What break statement does in that code? what what was the benefit using that break statement over there? You got understand or no? Let me explain it. Whether we can give it n or we can give it 7, let it give 7, right? I will start from 2 just because we want to divide it by 1. Please understand this first, right? Who is there? Everybody, right? Everybody please pay attention. You will understand the benefit of this break first. First the number will assign by 7, right? And the flag value is equal to 0, right? Just ignore this first. I value will be running from 2 to 7. Why? Just because of the rule of the prime number. Prime number are divided by only two values, either itself or 1. That's why I have started from 2. If I will start from 1, it will divide by 1 and flag will be 1 and it will print that number in not prime, right? That will be not exact answer, right? So that's why I am starting from 2. Okay, Now number should be less than 7, just because if I will make it equals to 7, that number is divided by either itself or 1, so I can make it equal to, right? So that's why I have make it less than 7, and I plus plus, this will be incrementing value. I will be starting from 2. Okay, initial I value is 2. 7 modulus I, this modulus operator returns us the remainder. 7 modulus 2, remainder will be 1, not 0. So that's why value will be not satisfied and it will not come inside this flag, right? So there that's why it will not come inside this if block. Okay, so it will be going to increment this if block. It's outside of the for loop. Don't see that, don't consider that it inside this for loop. So after this execution of this code, it will again go to this I plus plus. I value will be 3 because I value started from 2, increment by 1, I value will be 3. 3 modulus I, sorry, 7 modulus 3. 7 modulus 3 will return again 1. It will again return 1. So that's why 1 is not equal to 0. That's why it will not come here, right? Again it will increment by 1, value will be 4, right? Again 7 modulus 4, it will return 3 as a remainder, that will not equal to, it will not come here, right? Again it will be for 5 and 6, same execution. But suppose if I make it 6, so 6 is a prime number? No, 6 is not a prime number because 6 is divided by 1, 6. Okay, don't worry, but it is divided by 2 and 3 as well, right? That's why it's not a prime number. Now understand what break statement really does. It reduces the number of executions. How? It will be starting from 2, right? So 6 will be, n is equal to 6, I value, I current value will be 2, 6 will be divided by 2, right? Remainder will be 0. So 0 is equal to 0, flag will be 1. Initial flag value was 0 and now flag value will be updated to 1, and after updating this flag value, this will find break statement, and just because it was executed, this line was executed, it will come out of the loop and flag value was 1, it will print that number is not prime. If I will not use this break statement, suppose, so it will not come out of the loop instantly, but it has find that this number flag 1, and it has find these, the 2 has divided 6 and remainder was 0, so it has find that this number is not prime. Still it will be executing, still I value will be incrementing and loop will be running till its end, right? So we don't want to do that. We just want that if any number divides, just come out of the loop, because if accepting 1 or 7, any number divides first in, come out of the loop, because that's not prime number. Why to check for further numbers? That's why we have used break. This is the use case of this break. Now I want to ask if anybody have clear understanding about this break statement. Bhavya, now this time. Yeah, everybody. Okay, thank you. So it means that we have completed our what? Yeah. Abhijit, first of all, we have to learn scanner classes, like we want to print give any number, but we normally don't need in that selenium part, that is not part of our syllabus, don't use for that, just need to understand the yeah, if you want to yeah. Can you, I am opening the, can you explain what you want to ask? Right. Okay. Right. Right, we can do it. There is a one, yeah, you just thank, your question should, for response, responding your query, we can make it much better, right? Just divide by 2, just divide by 2. And now what we can do, why we do that? Suppose, for example, let me open notepad. For example, but I am just answering your query. But 7, suppose I have a number 11 to check, right, whether this number is prime not. So I, first I will ignore the 1 and 11 from our checks, right? First I will remove 1 and 11, right? So after that I will make from 2, right? Just listen carefully. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, right? I have to check till 10, but we can remove half of the amount, right? 5.5 will be half of this, so we can remove after 6, because if 2, 3, 5, 4, 6 will not completely divide this 11, then this further 7 will never divide 11, just because 7 will be never half of this, right? So we can make it much better, right? I hope you guys got understand, but this is the part of the logic. How can make our program better? Just understand the concept, go do the, just don't go for the, and for your next query, that how can you manually give the numbers from the console. Actually you have to use scanner classes. Just take user inputs, and whatever you will print, make that generic program. I have just given then assignment, from print number from 1 to 100, print, right? So print prime numbers from 1 to 100. Same logic will be used, but same logic will be, I is equal, yeah, of course. You can make it much better. That's that you can half of this number, right? Just make it half, just because suppose if number is 6 and 6 is not divide, 3 is not dividing 6, the 4 cannot divide 6. So that's why we can make it much better, right? So but my topic is not to explaining prime number program. My topic was to explaining the switch case, sorry, break statement, over how to use inside if block, how to statement, how to use inside a for loop, if else program, and okay, I'll be sharing, because guys, focus on concepts, logic you have to develop. i, I think that you guys, some people will be there who have much better logic than me, I know, but everybody has not same pace. Some some of people have better logic creating than me, and some people maybe just developing their concepts and making logics. So but our agenda is to understand the concept. When we will come to that selenium part, this much depth logic we don't need to, but we are doing this just to restart our coding, right? We just need to restart our logic building part. Okay, so we are far behind from our agenda today, so I'll be moving too much forward now. So okay, I have not explained the nested for loop, right? Whether I have explained, not explained, right? Okay, I'll be explaining nested for loop first. Okay, what nested means? Nested means loop inside loop or block inside a block, right? So for suppose integer I and j here I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to 5, I plus plus, suppose I make it 3, so I have not explained 5 times, we will explain 3 times only. For j is equal to 1, j is less than equal to 3, j plus plus. What does happen whenever it will come side inner loop? The inner loop will complete first whenever it will come, and when it will come to inner loop, only when the it will come inside the outer loop, then it will come here, and inner loop will run completely first, then it will going to increment the outer loop value, right? So how it will happen? Suppose I print system dot out dot println over here, right? Print I print 1, sorry, j. How this will work? First it will come here, I value is equal to 1, it will check whether 1 is less than equal to 3, condition is fine, it will come inside this block, and here it will find j is equal to 1, right? J is equal to 1, so it will match j is less than equal to 3, 1 is less than equal to 3, condition is fine, it will come inside and print this j, and j value is 1, so it will print 1. After this it will go to increment this j value, right? So j plus plus, j will be incremented by 1, and 1 j value will be 2 after incrementing, and j value will be 2, and 2 is less than equal to 3, condition is fine, it will print 2. Again it will be going back to increment, 3 is equal to 3 because j value will be 3 now, and 3 is equal to 3, and it will print 3. Again it will be going back to increment, j value will be 4, but 4 is not less than is equal to 3, that's why it will come out of the loop and going back to come out of the loop, and if the code is written over here, it will increment, it will first execute this code, but there is no code, so it will be going back to this increment part. So I value will be now 2, right? Now I value is equal to 2, and again it will run for loop 3, inner for loop 3 times, and it will again print 1 2 3 in the same manner, right? So now after this completing this for loop, there is no such code, so it will again going back to increment this outer for loop, and value will be 3, 3 is equal to 3, that's why it will again come inside this inner loop, and again it will print 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? So this will be printed 3 times. One more thing, suppose if I use break over here, just leave it. If j is equal to 2, it will be and inside this if block I have used this break, first I value will be 1, it will come because condition is true, it will come inside, j value is 1, right? J is less than equal to 3, 2 is less than is equal to 3, sorry, 1 is less than equal to 3, j value not 2, it will not come inside this for loop, it will just print, there is no line of code, then this will do nothing, right? When it will find this j is equal to 2, it will break and come out of this inner loop only, not this outer loop, right? So this was concept I wanted to explain. I will make a program, and this will be a better understanding for you guys. Now I will check with Abhijit what will be the output.
first I equal to 1, so in the loop, suppose I equal to 5 to 3, but at the second time also if it is 1 to 3, also for the third time I think that is equal to 3 and here equal to 1. So it will again print 1 to 3.
So 3 times it will print 1 2 3, right? Now I will ask with Bhavya what will be the output. Just debug it and let me know. Also, I don't know what will be the answer I have written as I want, because I know that I will debug it and find a appropriate answer for that. Just in a way you can also do that, so you can develop your concepts clear, right? So I know that I will debug it and I will let know what will the answer, but I want you guys to debug it and give the answer. Bhavya, please. Okay. It will print 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? I'm also not sure, but I know that I will debug it. Once if, sorry,
It will print 1 1 1.
it printed 1 2 1 2 1 2. Why it will print 1 1 1 2 1 1 1, right? Why? Just listen. First it will come to this I is equal to 1, condition is fine. It will come j is equal to 1, condition is fine. It will come here and it will print 1, right? After that it will not be matching with 2 because current value of j is 1. It is going to match with the j plus increment with the j plus plus. Now j value will be 2, 1 was printed, j value 2 will be printed, and because of j value is equal to 2 it will find a break and it will come out of this inner loop, right? Current loop. So when it will come out of this current loop, the cursor will be here. There is no such line of code written after this, that's why it will going back to this I plus plus, and again same process will be there, 1 2 1 2 1 2, because I loop is running 3 times, so it will print run this loop 3 times, right? Inner loop will run 3 times. If I will be 5, then inner loop will be also run 5 times, will be printing 5 times 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? So this way, if we know the how really things works, then we don't need to think lot of thing extra, but if we know the basic concept, we can get our query resolved. These kind of such kind of codes normally used in every whether you are programming with Java, programming for writing code for any application, or you are going through with the Selenium. At least this much logic you should be able to write, at least, right? If you are not able to develop as such logic, then you will face problem in future. That's why I'm covering up the very basics. Yeah. Okay, so guys, let me stop here. I'll be covering do while and while loop later on in further session. So this is for must for today, and I'll be sharing this recording to you guys. And one request: was this session worthful? Was this session meaningful? Yeah, yeah, you can share. Yeah, I can see it. Actually, you have printed as a string, right? You don't need to print as a string. You have printed system dot out dot println inside quotes, right? Remove those quotes. If you are printing a variable, just print that variable. So guys, if this session was a meaningful session, if something you have learned, if something you have gained or something you have revised, please drop a email in this email id, so that I uh, whether this data was meaningful to you, please drop, so it will help me to either improve or somewhere, or it will be a very what I can say, that it will be very helping to me, right? I will be uh, whether I will be adding up some data over here, or I adding some more meaningful knowledge. But what I can expect is that I have delivered everything that you will need in future. If you are able to develop such concept, you are able to understand such in detail, then this means that you will not face any problem. And I will be giving 4 assignments. If you will be completing those 4 assignments, next time when we will be attending any session, right, this Saturday, so i I can promise that you don't have any query related to it. If you will not complete assignments, you will surely find some problems. uh, Video. Yes. Yeah, yeah. I will give these assignments before I going to sleep. I will be updating our videos, like uh, what can I say, that video editing I have to do, and after that I have to give the assignments. That one thing I can say, guys, please reach out to Sumit for any assignment. If you guys want any assignment for that, reach out to Sumit. I will be posting 4 assignments, extra assignments. If you want, just push up to Sumit. Just यार पीछे पड़ जाओ उसके, बोलो उसको दो. हाँ, he's in your group, yeah. He's in your group. Sumit Goyal is, right. He is in your group. Sumit and Neha is in your group. Neha and Sumit will be helping to resolve your queries in Facebook platform, and those guys will be responsible to giving you assignments. Just reach out to Sumit. Don't ask to Neha. She is actually working in some lot of projects. That's why she is not free right now. But just post your query to Facebook group. But just reach out to Sumit and push in. And surely you will be getting assignments. And if you are able to, and please guys, drop an email related to this session if you this. You have joined the Google Classroom, just browse that Google Classroom platform. Okay. I'll be pasting before I'm going to sleep by 11, right? So just, and please guys, one more request, that every time I keep requesting, please drop an email if this session was meaningful to you. Okay. Now I'll be stop recording so that